government programs such as Medicare and Medicaid to begin with, and so they don't feel nervous about Obamacare and what happens to their practices. They think they're
Right.
still going to get paid. So they
Well,
think
and
that they're insulated from any of the traditional shocks that a small business would have under this tax scenario.
Well, I have to completely disagree. And, Obamacare and Medicare are certainly what I would consider to be disjointed issues from on a tax policy perspective. Obamacare and Medicare, I believe, present real and a present danger for both physicians and our patients. And that is a completely different issue, which I would be happy to get into.
Yeah, let's do that right now. That's number 2 on your letter to your employees, Obamacare/Medicare. And you have President Obama has signed the Affordable Care Act, which is known as Obamacare, cut $716 billion, ladies and gentlemen, from Medicare to fund Obamacare. It also taxes, fines small businesses $2,000 per employee per year. I cannot believe this thing passed. And mandates each citizen to purchase health insurance or pay a mandatory tax. That's all true, Jeff?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And scary stuff. And I'll tell you why. I can tell you that just this past week, every physician in the nation who treats Medicare patients was sent a publication from the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. And starting January 1st, 2013, we all expect a 26.5% cut in Medicare reimbursement if no action is taken. Now, that is very serious. In our own practice here at National Pain Institute, Medicare makes up 45% of our company's revenue. And I can tell you, as a physician and one who's been practicing for 20 plus years, I don't believe we can sustain a 26.5% cut to Medicare and be able to continue treating our Medicare patients in the same manner in which we do on a daily basis. It will lead to, I believe, significant restriction of access to medical care for Medicare patients. Doctors simply cannot absorb that kind of cut. We are asked every year, we are inundated with new healthcare regulatory requirements. So our compliance and our oversight, our costs keep increasing, yet our Medicare reimbursement keeps decreasing. Since 2005, overall, if we took a look at all the different procedures we perform for Medicare on our Medicare patients, we have had over a 36% cut over those last 7 years. On top of that, they want to put across the board 26.5% cuts. That just doesn't work. Man. And so from a financial perspective, that, I believe, will be devastating to most physicians. Other things that really concern me concerning patient care is the establishment of that independent payment advisory board, which has been rightfully so labeled the death panels. I remember in the news when Sarah Palin first mentioned the word death panel, and everyone on Obama's team went bananas. But essentially, that's what it is. I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but at the end of the day, what is proposed in Obamacare is the establishment of a panel of 15 unelected or unaccountable bureaucrats who are going to be in charge of the Medicare program in terms of determining what procedures should be reimbursed, if they should be reimbursed, and how much they should be reimbursed. These guys are accountable to no one. And there is nothing that states that these even need to be physicians, believe it or not, which is very disturbing. Another issue I don't know if your listeners are aware of is that whatever the panel's decisions are automatically become law.
I didn't know that.
So it's not just a case-by-case basis. It becomes the law for everyone else.
It becomes the law of the land, and the only way that Congress can change what the panel of 15 unelected officials determines to be the law is by a supermajority, 3/5 supermajority in the Senate has to overrule the panel. And I don't know about you, but we can't get 50% to agree on anything. I certainly don't see how we're going to get 3/5 of that body to agree on anything.
I told you the Supreme Court would become irrelevant, didn't I?
Well, this thing is just totally constructed to move Obama's view of medicine and of human beings forward. This is spooky stuff. People don't know. Jeff, right
This
now...
is eugenics, is
Yeah,
what it
There
is.
is something even spookier, guys. Here's a real amazing fact. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel, but he's the brother of the former
Yes,
White House
yes.
Chief of Staff, Ron
Oh,
Emanuel.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, the death
He
doctor.
is a scary guy.
Yeah.
He is a professor of American bioethics at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine. And he proposes healthcare rationing by age, disability, and, quote, your value to society. This is what he refers to as the complete life system. So quite frankly, this panel is going to determine who gets an organ transplant or who gets a vaccine or who gets a joint replacement or who gets life-saving cancer drugs based on their age, their disability, and what this panel decides is your value to our society. I mean, this is nuts.
Right, right. So if you're a 70-year-old with a brain tumor, and you're retired, how likely are you to be getting surgery and chemotherapy and radiation to cure yourself of this cancer versus, you know what, you had a good run and you're done?
That's the slippery slope.
And it comes right. Yeah, I'm sorry. It comes right out of that Margaret Sanger, George Bernard Shaw mentality of, where every 5 years, I should pull up that video. Every 5 years, you need to go in front of a panel and prove your worthiness to society and prove who you are and that you're a productive member of society. Therefore, and if you're not, that we will take care of you in a humane manner. And I mean, this is not my words. These are, George Bernard Shaw back in the 1920s, the whole progressive movement founder, and it's just amazing. I'll pull up that video.
Scary stuff. And to be honest with you guys, this is going to stifle healthcare innovation into the future.
Well,
why do you think life expectancy has gone from the 1960s from 65 to 78 years old?
Yep.
It's because we are treating people and they are living longer as a result of medical innovation and technology. And this will set us back decades.
Jeff, I have quite a few physician friends, but a couple are very prominent neurosurgeon and cardiologist. I was talking to the cardiologist the other day, Boca Raton cardiologist, friend of mine, and I said, "So where are you on this Obamacare thing?" He said, "Well, he's about 52 years old, and he said my goal was to heal people, to become a physician, heal people, and to make a good living, to provide for my family, and to retire as a physician that made a good living and helped people and reap the rewards." He said, if Obamacare this is before it passes, and Obama gets reelected, he says, I'm done. I'm going to figure out a quick way to retire, go into some other business or something. I said, well, why would you do that? He said, very simple. He said, the number of people coming into the system cannot be handled the way a good physician would want to handle them, and we're just going to get out. We're not going to watch people die and have other people make decisions and all of that. That's not why we became physicians. So we're out of here.
Right.
So there's going to have
He's absolutely correct. I agree with him. The access to care. Here it is. Obama proposes to add 30 million people to the roll of insured.
Right.
Without one more physician, one more nurse.
But he's adding 15,000 IRS agents, which is a posh government job to have.
Yes. But, you add 30 million people, what you're going to see are significantly increased and lengthy wait times to get any kind of care from a physician, whether it's, needed emergent treatment or non-emergent. Physicians, there's only a limited number of people we can see in a day. And, at the moment we are stressed to some degree in our system. And so what that's going to lead to are shorter visits, longer wait times, less attention to detail, and a lot of physicians don't want to practice in that environment.
Some of this, and CJ just asked a fabulous question. When the brilliant Obama people got together and said, let's take the best health care system in the world and let's change it completely, what the hell was going through their minds?
Well, plus they exempted themselves from the
That was an
laws that the
interesting
rest
thing.
of us have to follow. So they'll
Well, of
still have
course they
access
did.
to everything they already have, and they're exempt from the taxes that we're going to have to pay, and they're exempt from the death panels that we have to present ourselves to. But why this rush to impose it on the rest of us? How do they benefit from that?
I believe this decision, I mean, this is just, my own belief, is that this decision was ideologically driven. I believe that this is a play for 16% of the economy of the United States. And I believe that the Obama agenda is one of big government ruling our lives and making every little decision for us, because I truly believe that liberal elitists believe most of us are stupid people and cannot make decisions for ourselves. And
Mark, you got a question, Mark?
Yeah. It seems to me that it's more of a way to control the votes, just like they get more people onto the dole, they get more people on it, just like Medicare and Social Security is, oh, you can't cut Medicare, and whoever wants to cut Medicare becomes the evil Republican, and whoever, wants to raise Medicare and take away government from the rich and give it to the poor is the great Democrat, the great, and this whole Obamacare thing is just a huge, increase in the voter base they see for the Democrats.
Oh, it's definitely a means to their ends. There's no doubt about it. If this is a power grab, let's face it. I mean, if you can take over and control another 16% of our economy, what does that bring them up to? I mean, what, 60 or 70%?
Well, but the point is, if this passes, the economy is completely
passed. What do you mean if it
destroyed.
passes? It
No.
passed. It
Once
passed. Yeah, this
it
is
goes
passed.
into effect, whatever's left of the economy from what we have now is completely destroyed. There is no base
That's
for the
goal.
government to continue to function on. They've maxed out their credit card with China and everywhere else around the world. Where is the money going to come from that the government is redistributing? There's going to be nothing to redistribute. So what happens? I mean, what you have is a
Greece is
situation
what happens. Greece is what
looking like
happens.
the end of the Soviet Union, where
Yep.
it basically just collapsed on
Yep.
itself and became a return to its
but I
autocratic
think-
dictatorship.
But I think you made an amazingly insightful observation. The the power play for 16% of the size of the government to control life at the beginning and at the end.
Yeah.
When you control the medical procedures in people's lives, particularly at the end,
Yeah.
you wield tremendous power, and you can
Exactly.
translate that power into a voting block
Yeah.
because you tell them, you know, we're going to have to do this if you guys want to stay alive, and they're going to vote for it. This
Exactly.
is scary stuff, man.
Well, and also the healthcare becomes now, instead of, it becomes a right. It becomes an
It
entitlement.
becomes a perk.
It becomes no.
No, it becomes a party perk.
Yeah, it becomes a party perk, but it becomes an entitlement where you
have to
can't take
be
it. Right.
Yeah, you have to be on the official party approved list to have access to things.
And Tom, that means you won't be on that list.
That's true.
That's right.
That's
right.
No, and you're going to be right next to me, not on that same
And
list.
yeah, I was going to say, and come the revolution, you're ready to go also, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well,
So what's the what is the I mean, healthcare is not perfect. What is the solution in your ways? I mean, let's say we had our good world and Obamacare was gone. What is the actual good solution in your head for medical
there
treatment?
are some very good common sense solutions, and I believe that the free markets, quite frankly, should be left to ferret this out. And the problem is, you know, the government has set up obstacles, and what I mean by that is, for instance, the government's supposed to regulate interstate commerce, so they do that effectively for some aspects of business. However, in the healthcare realm, they've done just the opposite.
Right.
They've set up obstacles to the interstate trade of health insurance.
Right.
And quite frankly, to be honest, again, both parties have something to do with that. And why would they do that? Why would they make it so I couldn't, for my employees, go to Tennessee, say, and purchase health care insurance from a Tennessee insurance company? Well, they don't allow that. Here I've got a choice between 4 different insurance companies for my employees in the state of Florida. That's a real problem. If tomorrow they got rid of those barriers where you could then purchase health care insurance from one of any 4,000 health care insurance companies presently in the United States today, that will automatically overnight reduce what you or I pay for health care insurance, number one, because of competition. Number 2, we must get away from mandating certain levels of coverage, because people should be able to buy a product that they want. For instance, I'll give you a good example. Years ago, you could just purchase hospitalization coverage, and then you could pay out of pocket for your routine colds or your routine checkups at your doctor's office or for an ear infection for your kid, but were covered for the big potential large bills you could receive. God forbid you required hospitalization. So again, the governments look to mandate certain levels of coverage. The Obamacare is going to take away health savings accounts, which I think are a marvelous tool for people to use to put money aside in a tax-free fashion to pay for medical bills. Especially if they're young. Right, especially if they're young. Why should, I believe that, even if you're wealthy or poor, it's a good means. You're putting this money away to be used for yourself. It will empower people to be better consumers of healthcare services if they have something to pay out of pocket. Right. Because when you provide a free service to someone, they will use and abuse that service. It's just the way it is.
Hey, Jeff, we regrettably, we're going to have to wrap this up in about a minute. We're running out of time. This has been a fascinating time with you. Normally, we're dealing with national security issues, which I know you have a lot to say on also. But on this day before the election, it was critically important to get you on to speak to South Florida. So as they go bobbling their head tomorrow to vote, thinking, Obamacare is the answer, what are you doing? You're doing a dance over there?
No. He wants Jeff to stay on for the next hour, for the beginning of the next hour.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So we're not done.
You wanted to say something?
Yes, just...
we got about 30 seconds. And then I want him to close.
I just wanted to reiterate his pain clinics and everything.
Yeah. We're going to give you a plug, man, for sure.
No, I'm not in it for the plugs. I'm
No, I
in
know
for
that.
America. Don't worry.
I understand that. The National Pain Institute, 561. I almost had the number.
495-6300.
And you deal with people when they have chronic pain, all types of pain. What is your specialty?
Yeah, we deal with all types of chronic pain. Most of our, I'd say the majority of our patients are chronic low back pain or neck pain sufferers.
Okay, you got about 1 minute to speak to the listening audience. I don't know if we have viewers anymore, but the listening audience. We do. Okay, good. The squirrels are back from their union break, right? You got 1 minute, Jeff, to say whatever you want to the voters of South Florida regarding anything you want. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Well, I am very hopeful that Governor Romney will win this election. From my perspective, for your health and your family's health, safety, and well-being into the future, we must repeal Obamacare. It is designed to completely rearrange our healthcare system, putting healthcare decisions that should be made between you and your physician. Now, again, nameless and faceless government bureaucrats will be making these decisions for you, which will automatically, this is the most important, automatically become the law of the land unless we can get 75% of senators to agree to override a ruling by this panel. So this is extraordinarily important that Obama be defeated this election cycle.
Which is tomorrow. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you
Jeffrey
so
Zipper.
much.
You take care,
Absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen. If you have pain, you go to him. If you got brain pain, you come to us, and we'll solve your problems. Tom
And catch
Trento,
us on the
Trento
back of the-
Vision, signing off. Be back right after the top of the hour.